my weird self, man. Love me for me. Who are you? You gotta tell me.
Okay, so we're one show and two Geminis.
Boom.
We are the hosts of this show. I am Bryhanna Nad'e.
And I'm Campain.
You're about to go away.
I was about to do my AKA thing. You're just waiting for me now. You're just like, you gonna do it? You're not gonna do it. Don't
No, because I was
do
looking at you like, no, we're on the time length right now. Okay. All right, so this is our first episode of our show, One Show and Two Geminis, where we basically give you our perspectives on topics, identity issues, social issues, anything political. We talk about it. We give our own opinions and knowledge. You know, we're not gonna sugarcoat shit. That's not what we're about to do.
Definitely not gonna do that. We definitely not putting out clickbait, but we're definitely not gonna sugarcoat anything. Sometimes you're gonna get popular opinion. Sometimes you're gonna get perspectives on popular opinions. Sometimes you're gonna get unpopular opinions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're definitely gonna get perspectives that come from, you know, the culture and that come from a black woman, a black man. And, you know, our experiences, sometimes what we speak about might not be something that we went through, but it might be something that we saw somebody go through or saw somebody close to us go through. And it's just our perspective, man. And then we're going to bring people on that can also do that. Not today, because today we're shining.
It's all about us, right?
Today we're shining.
So
it's the intro. So
they can come later on. This is our moment.
Exactly. Let me get my shine. Let me do my solo, all right?
Let me get my highlight. You got his highlight?
Exactly. You pop it.
Okay. Bam.
There it is.
But yeah, just to touch on what he said about a black woman and a black man, conversations like this is needed. So this is what we're bringing to the table, and hopefully we can influence everybody to continue to have these conversations and to not feel like, oh, I can't talk to this person because, you know, we're not going to relate. No, you probably will relate. Just conversations are needed right now.
And make sure that you remember that we're not speaking from a place of not being real. We're speaking from two people, or four, because we're Gemini.
Four, yeah, there you go.
Two very layered humans talking about the things that they've seen and gone through, and feel like light needs to be shed on.
And this isn't some type of tea or read. We're just talking because conversations are needed.
I don't even drink tea.
Okay, well we're not.
Except when I'm singing.
Okay.
But I do drink.
We're not
drinking anything today.
I know.
Last time we hung out, we were having a few little drinks.
We're drinking water right now. That's all that matters. Okay.
I don't have my water anymore.
Well,
but
you're fine.
That was the past. We're in the future. But first off, shout out to Bryhanna Nad'e for
First of all, you don't gotta say my name like that. Bryhanna.
I know.
Okay. Sorry. Start over. My bad.
But you know, for hanging like a true champ. Last time we, you know, did an interview, and you know what I'm saying, you had more than a few shots of Henny, and you were just literally like the most regal queen ever. Like it just was perfect, and that makes me trust you in the trenches of life. When you can, you know what I'm saying? I can get pulled over with you in an upscale neighborhood, and I'm like, we're good. We'll probably get home. So that's great. That's great, man.
Like I said before, I was great on the outside, but on the inside, my heart had some issues. So we can start from there.
Move forward.
Okay.
Just gonna move forward. All right, man. You know, sometimes, but that's where the Henny hits you on the inside.
I know.
It hits you on the inside.
But like I said, I was shaking on the inside.
Nice to see you. See you later. You said goodbye like a champ, and like I always say,
body, okay?
Not everybody says goodbye when they're all thinking.
Like,
and you was gonna do the Mario, you was doing that shit before we turned the camera on. I'm glad you didn't stop. There you go.
All right,
take it.
Oh shit.
Anyway, that was another time in my life. Shout out to the B2K concert. We had to go. I'm pulling up with the do-rag and the headband on.
Okay, well, speaking of B2K,
yes,
this person that we're talking about on this episode happened to produce for B2K.
Oh shit, he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Well, that's gonna raise a good question that we gotta ask the people: do we throw it all away?
Yeah.
Or do we just throw his stuff away? So I'm hoping that I get a lot of comment answers.
Yes.
We get a lot of comment answers on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, where people let us know how they feel about it. But you know, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Should we get right into it?
Yes. Alright. So we're gonna be talking about the docuseries that came out on Lifetime, Surviving R. Kelly.
Did you have to drink wine? Cause I drank.
I did. I drink wine for those 3 nights. You know.
I got to the second day, and then the second day I was like, all right, where's my Riesling? I can't. And I was just.
I had to find my inhaler. I haven't used my inhaler since I was in middle school.
You had to hit the inhaler. Woo.
I couldn't even find it. So.
No, it was. No, but in all seriousness, it
was
definitely,
very hard to watch.
I think that says a lot. The fact that it physically affected both of us.
Yeah.
We're both totally different genders.
Yeah.
Completely affected both of us.
Different experiences and
Exactly.
different perspectives. Well, I mean, we both can say that we know that what R. Kelly did was wrong.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to speak on that and kind of summarize the whole series for you guys. For some of you guys that didn't watch it and only kind of watched social media kind of come after it. But
So as a black woman in America, who was at one point in time at least a fan of a song or two,
oh yeah,
watching this documentary, I know you said you had to get your inhaler. We talked about this before, but how did you feel about it? How did what feelings welled up in you from the beginning to the end?
I was disgusted. And I was hurt by the survivors because, you know, they survived. And there are still some victims that are from R. Kelly that are still trying to get out currently.
Mm-hmm.
But I was disgusted and I was just frustrated mostly to the people that he was surrounded by because they knew what was going on. They knew that he called himself the Pied Piper. They knew that he was about to get married to Aaliyah and didn't do nothing about it. The music industry knew what was going on, but they still continued to work with him to still make music because he was putting out hits, he was making money and everything. And then it just shows that this is the reason why we don't speak on, you know, our trauma and our experiences because we're not being taken seriously. There's more protection on the abusers than the actual victims.
Right.
The accountability is more so on the victims and the questions and the blame are on them.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you stop it? Why did you continue to be with this person? Why didn't you tell anybody? First of all, if you're in that position, you would know how hard it is to get out of a manipulative relationship or situation like that.
Right, especially when you care about the person. It's not like this was some random person that came from around the bushes. This was somebody who worked to gain their trust and to be there for them and to share pain with them and share late nights and dinners and all this type of stuff with them to like show his vulnerable side in order to, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to make it sound like National Geographic, but like a predator that shows like, you know, makes itself seem like it's not, you know, like those flowers that are like really poisonous that like animals go up to and then boom, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like that. I feel like that's the type of manipulation that they were describing. Somebody that was like, oh, something bad happened to you, something bad happened to me too. Like, you know, the media says this about me, but I'm this type of person. I'll make sure you never have to go without. I'll make all these things. And predators look for prey that smells familiar to them. So I guarantee you, the girls that Robert came at gave him an energy when he met them that made him feel like, here's the next one.
So, Mr. Cameron Parker. So, as an artist and as a black man, what was your reaction with watching that series?
I mean, it was a lot, man. There was definitely. I mean, just first off, you know, I'm not gonna act like I wasn't influenced, you know, inspired by R. Kelly as an artist. You know, coming up before really knowing all of this stuff, we all were. Everybody's played bump and grind or whatever. Everybody's done that. So I'm not gonna act like I was above that. I didn't know what I know now, but I'm not gonna act like I was above it at the time. I felt betrayed by him as a person that he's singing I Believe I Can Fly, and then he's like literally like clipping the wings of like everybody that comes into contact with him that's a woman, right? So like that, I felt betrayed in that sense. I felt disappointed in myself. Obviously, I didn't know his personal life, but I felt disappointed in myself from, you know, singing his songs at shows or, you know, playing them on playlists and doing different things like that. I just kind of felt, you know, like, I mean, all you can do is do better when you find out, right? But I feel like, you know, the ultimate finesse that I actually talked about with one of my artist friends, and this is why I feel like you can't just say I don't fuck with him, but I fuck with his music, is because he put his real life into his music. He wrote a song for Aaliyah, who he was a predator with, called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. He was on her album cover, looking at him. He was in her video. Like, if you listen to Back and Forth by Aaliyah, he's on the ad-libs on that song.
I know.
So,
and I did not know that.
Exactly. So he had women that he was abusing. They had footage of it in the docuseries. They were at his shows on stage. He was using them as props and stuff like that. So the reason why you can't separate the art from the man is because he didn't. So you can't say, I'm just gonna listen to the songs because this is his art. It's like, nah, man. Like, if a drug dealer is arrested for selling crack to kids and he makes songs about selling crack to kids, you gotta throw the whole thing away. Right? I do want to ask the question though to people: do we throw away everything that he's worked on with other artists? Do we throw away Bump 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 from B2K? Do we throw away Fortunate by Maxwell? Do we throw away these songs that he's written word for word for these major artists that we love? Or do we just punish him and his catalog for it and keep it pushing? So I'll be interested to see what people say in that regard. And, you know, but I definitely felt betrayed. As a singer, as a young black man, I felt betrayed. And I don't understand how I mean, I don't know, I'm not him, but it's just terrible to see that you can be that type of person. Like I said, it's a big line between being imperfect and being a monster. Like, that's a big gap. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said at the beginning, I was born in '93, so I wasn't really there from the beginning of R. Kelly's success. I was only there like midway. So I know about Ignition. I know about, first of all, I know about before Ignition, it was I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah, that's what got him.
So because of Space Jam. And that came out in '96, so I was 3 years old, and then I watched Space Jam like a couple, maybe like 2 years later, I think. But from the start of that, and then hearing about his allegations and the P tape and everything, because I wasn't really mature enough to know about those certain things. I separated him from an artist and him as a person, Robert and R. Kelly. You know, because I was just like, well, that sucks that he has these allegations, but I like Ignition.
He's still making music, so what's happening?
Like Gigolo, like Nick Cannon, like all of that, you know, and you know, I was in it for his music and but also hearing about what was going on, but again, not really understanding what was really going on. But now watching that docuseries and watching that the music he was making was towards the situations he was with and everything.
Ultimate criminal finesse. Like,
now I'm just like, no, fuck that. No, there's no separation.
And it wasn't even the young girls. He was doing it to grown women. Like,
grown women too, exactly.
It was just, if you're a woman and you're in my life, you're gonna get abused.
And you know, it's just I can't do that. And I say that because R. Kelly has done nothing for me as a person. He made good music, but there's other people that made better music too as well, and that are still living or dead. And they didn't have any type of allegations like that at all. So I'm perfectly fine with not separating him, because you can still be an artist and still be a pedophile just like him.
Exactly. I feel like, man, to close it out, I think we got a reminder of how dark human beings can be. You know, some human beings can be. I think this is an opportunity, like I said, for us to remember to not make this. It shouldn't be a gender, you know, male versus female thing, because it should be you're either on the side of right or you're on the side of wrong, period. In some situations, there are gray areas. In this situation, there's not. Right and wrong is very clear in this scenario. You know, and I just think we should really celebrate the survivors, the people that came out to share this story, because whether we understand it or not, there are people who will not do this to people because they see what R. Kelly's going through, or there are people that may not have thought this was as wrong as it was, and then they saw the effects that it had on these women. These women couldn't express their experiences with somebody without breaking down. So that's not an enjoyable situation. Doesn't matter if you're a celebrity or not. They didn't enjoy it. They were not okay with it. So, and there are people that feel that way that are men. People feel that way that are women. At the end of the day, I think we just have to approach it with compassion, like we talked about, and understanding that people deserve to be protected, man. And if somebody is wrong, they deserve justice. And so, we just have to, knowing what we know now, we have to be able to say it was wrong. And if there's any role I can play in getting justice or making justice a real possibility, that's what I'm gonna do. And I think our first step is really just to stop playing the music. You know what I'm saying? That's the first step. Stop playing the music. If it says R. Kelly, we're not playing it. And that's just what it is. So
what he did was wrong. He should be in jail. He needs to be prosecuted, and the fact that he's suing Lifetime for coming out with a docuseries like this just shows that he's even more in a bad position, because he knows that it was, he's coming to light right now.
Yeah.
And more R. Kelly's, more Bill Cosby's, more Harvey Weinstein. I don't know where Kevin came from, but all these other pedophiles, rapists, abusers should be put in jail. And him being molested as a kid does not justify his choices he made by being a pedophile. And again, it just disgusted me that everybody in his team knew what was going on. No one spoke up to it. And there needs to be more protection for Black girls, because they're not given it right now.
Yeah,
they're being blamed for what happened to them and the experiences that they had to endure. Yeah. And they still have to deal with that. So let's put more empathy into these women, and start becoming more aware of this cause right now, because it is happening. It's still been happening. Yeah. And I think consent, rape, sexual assault, all that should be taught in schools, because this does happen to younger kids, and it's, it grows and the trauma grows. And sometimes these people that have dealt with that, like R. Kelly, they chose to do this to younger people as well and everything. And that needs to be taught more, so that we can become more aware of it. Absolutely. And to our children.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
But we appreciate you guys for being with us today for the first episode.
Can I say one
comment? History. You can say as many
comments as you want. It won't be long.
You the boss.
Okay.
You own this.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, queen.
Oh.
Go. No, I'm just go ahead.
Don't gas me, because I will take it. I will take advantage of it. But it's the reason why we're doing topics like this, me and Cameron, is because conversations like this need to be being talked about. I love the fact that everyone is talking about this and everything, but it's important to have these conversations with people of different genders, different same sex and opposite sex, all of that. And because if the person doesn't know and they're not being educated on stuff like this is the time to educate them more.
Right.
And this is the future. Our kids are the future, and it's only gonna be more protected and more guided, and everyone's gonna have the knowledge to know what's going on and what's right and what's wrong, if we don't just talk about it.
Right.
So this is what we're doing right now. As a disclaimer, we're giving you guys our opinions. And we both agreed that it was fucking wrong.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's all I say.
So let us know, man. Do y'all, have y'all seen instances of sexual assault between, from a man or from a woman? Growing up, did you have experiences? Not yourself, but people in your life. Are we throwing away everything R. Kelly has touched, even if it's not him singing? Are we throwing away Space Jam because I Believe I Can Fly is in it? What are we doing? What should we do? What do you think? We don't have a monopoly on opinions, so let us know, man. But once again, we appreciate you guys rocking with us, listening. Unpopular and popular opinion is going to be shared on one show, 2 Geminis, and this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
So please stay tuned. Make sure, should I do the YouTube thing? Make sure you subscribe.
Oh,
click the
God.
notification button. What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? This is Cash Campaign. Make sure y'all listen today. Make sure you subscribe.
On this look.
There you go.
On the finished look.
Hit the close
Okay,
one.
like, I get it right here too as
Popping.
well. You know.
Super.
Okay.
Looking like missiles. You feel me? But thank you guys, man. We appreciate you guys. You know, this will be a regular thing, and we're gonna have some guests too, so you don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
This is Cash Campaign signing out, and the wonderful, lovely, talented
Bryhanna Nad'e.
All right, y'all.
Oh, jeez, I started coughing. Bye. That was my heart.